Hello. So I'm drinking coffee and slurping and realised I hadn't pressed the stream button. I'm here. That was weird. How's everybody doing? All good? Not as bad as when I actually started talking in the stream a minute ago and forgot to actually press the button to actually launch onto YouTube. That was weird. I was like, where is everybody? Anyway, technology. It is my strong point, so I shouldn't actually be doing stupid things like that, but hey. So I'm slurping coffee at the same time as talking to you at the minute. Right, so where are we? I haven't done anything today, trading-wise. I've been basically, so far, just recording that video this morning. So if you're in the Telegram group, I posted the video about the new EA, Scalper EA, which I've built. That was meant to be a really short video, and it ended up being an hour and a half long. I don't know how it got to an hour and a half long, but I suddenly looked at the recording time and I was like, wow, I better slow down because they're boring people to tears, basically. Afternoon, Trevor. So yeah, go in the Telegram group if you want to have a look at that EA in action and what it does, and just looking for some feedback on it, really, if you can. Because it's all finished, really. I just need to basically make sure it does everything that everybody wants, really. I don't even know if I've got it in here. I think I have. Yeah. So yeah, it's all done. I must remember to turn this off every time because it goes straight into auto trade mode, which I don't want it to do. I think that's right. Oh yeah, I've got the development settings up, so ignore that lot. It's all development settings. This is that daily target I was talking about, so it will automatically shut off trading at daily targets and stuff. But anyway, I won't go over all this now because I've just done a 1.5 hour video. If you want to know about this new EA, go and have a look in the Telegram group. It's all in there. Right, so let's have a look where we are. So nothing much set up today that wasn't Aussie. We've got a few hits on the yens. So today, so far, obviously news-wise, we haven't had anything today. Oh yes, we had Philly Fed, didn't we? Sorry, forgot about that. So Philly Fed came out and the unemployment claims. So there wasn't a massive amount of movement in London, apart from these Australian dollars, obviously, that moved massively off of the news on the Aussie. So we had that big old spike. So all those ADRs really were not ADRs. Aussie dollar, US dollar has kind of gone sideways in London. So we have had no more movement off of the back of that. US dollar today has really been sideways. I was really hoping for them to manipulate that down this morning. They didn't get to where, afternoon Rahat, they didn't get to where I wanted them to get to, which was there, that liquidity pool there. There's a lot of money there from everybody that played the pullback long out of the news, and everybody that played the breakout. Their shorts, their stops will be there as well. So there'll be a load of people with pendings under there as well. I was hoping they were going to come down and grab that yesterday in the news on FOMC, but they didn't. And I was hoping today they were going to do the same thing, but London has just gone sideways. So I'm still looking short today on the US dollar because I really don't see any reason why they won't come down and grab that. It's too tempting a pot, I think. But the fact they didn't do it off of FOMC means maybe they're not. I don't know. Maybe it's just going to go today. We didn't get any movement off of unemployment, so I don't know. Bit of a mystery at the moment, the US dollar. Afternoon, Asini. Harry, hope you're good. What's your view on New Zealand dollar CAD? So yeah, a bit of a mystery on the old US dollar at the minute. Not really going anywhere. I've got a feeling everyone's a little bit cautious still about Russia. We've had loads of news came out, obviously, about the bombardments and everything. all the shelling that started this morning, early hours. But we've had nothing since. It's all still build up. It's like it was almost starting, and now we're back to all build up again. And I just got a feeling the market's a little bit slow and jittery at the moment. So waiting. New Zealand dollar CAD. What's my view on New Zealand dollar CAD? Nice. We're basically caught bias long on New Zealand CAD now. But we are very, very nicely extended. So we're due a pullback. If we're going to get this New Zealand dollar strength, which we are at the moment, remember I was saying we were looking for New Zealand dollar strength to come through. We got peak formation low in here, and market structure is very, very nicely bullish. So we're looking for a pullback, basically. So this is a counter trend pullback, and then long. So yeah, it's building up for a nice little short, but don't expect to get too much out of it. We just had a reversal and we're just retesting. Nice wicks going in at the moment to the highs. So if you want to play this safe, pending order under there and short down to here or here. 100 ADR move to the downside potentially, but you've got to be wary of that level as well. So potentially yesterday's high may be reactive, but I'd be more inclined to see a deeper pullback. Obviously, we don't want to invalidate those lows if we're going to continue on the move to the upside. So anywhere in here, I mean, it's like anything. Yeah, H4 extension, get in on M15. If you're looking for targets, we're looking for areas of propulsion moves out of accumulations. That one's already been tested. That's not really big enough. This area here is a nice propulsion area that hasn't been tested, so we could well come all the way back down to there, but if in doubt, stick a fib on it. 61.8 is in line with support resistance, so I'd be short to there. Probably the best bet. Afternoon, Andy. Doggies walked. Only position I'm in right now is short New Zealand US. We'll have a look at all the extensions in a minute. This morning, obviously, we looked at all the Aussies. CAD yen we looked at as well. Was it CAD yen or Swiss yen lit up this morning? It was Swiss yen because CAD yen's just hit, yeah. So CAD yen has just hit to the downside. We just bounced off of 100 ADR perfectly down there. Big move down, another big move down. Yen strength, guys. Money flows into safe havens. Yen is a safe haven. We've got issues in Russia. Potentially we could see some big moves into the yen pairs. So just be a little careful of your yens. We saw that, last week, didn't we? Yeah, money flood straight into the yen. And then it was like, oh, actually, they're not going to invade. Oh, hang on a minute. Maybe they are. So be careful with any yen long positions. CAD yen, Swiss yen hit ADR. Swiss yen hit ADR this morning, came off, but nothing much off of that. We've gone into an accumulation. And US dollar yen. So it shows you how weak the US dollar is at the moment. The yen is beating it down. So just be careful of those. Just be wary of anything ADR at the moment. Market is very, very jittery. We're getting a lot of money dumps happening. Big moves we're in, and these big moves are very easily undone, but they're also very easily the start of a massive movement, as we saw on the US dollar. So this one this morning, that basically was that. Yeah, so bombs start going, market goes woo. So yeah, just don't want to be on the wrong side of one of those. If you're on the right side, it's fine. So nothing on ADR particularly to write home about at the moment. We've got too many windows open now because I've got that other one, so it's that one. ADRs, sorry, RSIs. We've got quite a few things lit up now on RSI. Finally. We haven't had anything literally all week, have we? Apart from that silly euro. So Aussie dollar CAD. Finally got something to discuss this week. Aussie dollar CAD is reaching up very, very, very nicely. Obviously, we had the Aussie dollar news, which was all positive overnight. So that's given the Aussie dollar a little bit of a spur to the upside. We got this level here. I'll just get rid of some of these fibs and all this rubbish on the chart. Old trades. So we got this level here, which we are aiming for now on the Aussie dollar CAD, which is this level of accumulation. So this is a volume area, which has been resistive. We slammed through it, came back up. We're not interested. So this is going to be a double top, potentially a double top bounce. So just keep your eyes on this one. It's nicely set up at the moment. It'll probably be quite quick if it does happen. But obviously, this is off the back of the Aussie dollar unemployment rate and employment change, which was positive. So the unemployment rate hasn't changed. There's still as many people unemployed. But the employment change has come out positive. So it is overall positive for the Aussie. But, you know, it's not groundbreakingly positive. So with this one, M15, you've just had the reversal alert on it. And this is the level which we would be expecting that double top at, which we are right at right now. So very, very, very close. We're almost up at ADR as well. So all we've literally done is put in a basically fade of the news at the minute. So it is nicely extended. The entry really was there just before the news, but I mean, it is still set up. So if we do get a continuation push on this one up, and that double top doesn't hold, you're running straight into this selling area here, which is that accumulation there, and then your next stop is potentially going to be there. So it's not far away. It's literally an ADR basically. So if you got in one here and that didn't reject and give you an out, you're only an ADR away, which will bring your average up to there for an exit. So it's a nice, easy trade. It's really nicely extended as well. It's had a good little run. So it's due a decent sized pullback. But they're both shorts. So, you know, it could well go into a bit of an accumulation. But really nice wicks on Aussie CAD as well. Yeah, lots of selling pressure coming in. Lots of wicks to the upside at the moment on this one. So there are lots of sellers. We've got very nice bearish divergence at the moment. Well, it's not actually that bearish. It's bearish-ish, but not brilliant. But yeah. So Aussie dollar CAD nicely extended. Euro, oops, odd. Opposite side. Again, same one. Somebody's just asked about this one in the Telegram group. Euro New Zealand and Euro odd. Take one or the other, not both, because the Aussie and the New Zealand will tend to move in tandem. Very, very, very extended, the Euro. With what's going on in Russia at the moment, do you really want to be longing this? The first casualty of conflict in Ukraine is going to be the pipeline into Germany. The pipeline into Germany supplies everything to Europe. That runs through the Ukraine. So the Euro economy is on its knees. The last thing it needs is a pipeline stopping any fuel coming in. So be wary longing the Euro. These are both nicely extended, but for good reason. The Euro's on its backside, and we've got a strong New Zealand and a strong Aussie at the minute. So, but saying that, yeah, we got what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and a bit down candles in a row now. You will get a pullback on this, but I can't see it being much more than a quick one, I don't think. So be careful with those. They are nicely extended, but they could also go nicely embedded. So just be careful with them. You want to be out fairly fast on those. These are the type of positions, if you get into them, I mean, you've got to get into it first. It's got to give you an alert. You would have had one there on the Aussie dollar news, but I mean, either you got in on that with the EA or you're up in Asia. So you haven't had an alert yet. nice wicks to the downside at the moment. But as soon as you get into a bit of profit on it, I'd probably move a break-even stop just in case. And if you get stopped out on it, no harm done. But what you don't want to do is go into a squeeze on the euro, Russia invading, and then the euro just tanking. You'll be in possibly hell for months on that. And not just like I showed this morning, the Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar squeeze was like that. Euro could be kind of like that. So angle of squeeze has a massive impact on drawdown, obviously. So that's the euro and the odd. They are set up nicely, but you want to wait for some bullish price action. Again, good example here of that candle. Yeah, that one green candle pullback, and then immediately straight back down again. You need to be ready to get out at the top of that wick. If we get a move, you've got to be ready to get out on it. So you need to keep an eye on them. New Zealand dollar CAD. Very nicely extended. New Zealand dollar is a long, but we are very nicely extended on this one. We're probably going to go into a bit of an accumulation on this, very similar to what we had there. We could come straight into a pullback and continuation, but I'm hopeful that we are now going to get this New Zealand dollar move that we've been waiting for. It's all looking lovely and bullish. COT report is bullish. It's looking nice. So again, short, be careful of here. Would prefer a decent size pullback. So again, I think we should be getting a decent pullback off of a move that big. That's really all you got. I mean, you obviously got the pullback, but on an accumulation, even if we go into accumulation, you should still get a decent pullback on that one. So looks good. There is obviously the option of this being a pullback on the New Zealand, and we're going to continue this way. If we get a strong Canadian dollar, we get decent oil news, and the CAD strengthens up. We've got CAD tomorrow, haven't we? Yeah, so it's retail sales for the CAD tomorrow. So if we get a decent, strong CAD tomorrow, you could well see another push down. Those levels, obviously, we don't want invalidated if we're going to go long New Zealand, but it's got loads of potential for a short this. It's just not very extended at the moment, not my favourite, but it's getting there. There's nothing in the 75.25, which is where I'm really, really, really interested, but they're not far off. New Zealand dollar, US dollar as well. Nice short. We're waiting for the US dollar to power up. The US dollar is really in indecision at the moment. I really like that candle we got off of that Ukrainian news. It gives me faith that if they do go to war, we're likely to get a strong US dollar out of it, which means New Zealand dollar, US dollar is a lovely short. This is a lovely short anyway. We're up in the 24. Anytime you get into the 24.72 zone and get extended on the 4-hour RSI, on it like a shot. Didn't quite get there just about there. Yeah, so this is my favourite out of all of them at the moment because it's crossed with the US dollar. And we've got US dollar yen. Again, be careful of the US dollar against the yen. If we do get powering up on the US dollar, we'll likely get powering up on the yen. We'll go into an accumulation. So yen, when we see the yen money flooding into the yen, it tends to be stronger than the US dollar. So you'll tend to get a move down. But you can see how lovely this thing is to trade. It moves so much when it wants to move, but it also goes into these horrible grindy squeezes when one of these, in this case the yen, was really, really weak. You just get stuck in these 2 to 3 week grinds waiting for everybody that's longed that thing to get out, and it just takes ages. So I don't really like trading this. I've made that clear in the past with the US dollar yen. It's not my favorite pair. Rahat, isn't it better to maintain the basket average TP line in safer zone instead average break even line to bank some profit after long holding? I don't know what you mean by a safe zone. So whenever I get into any positions, my goal is to keep my average within an ADR. So my first priority is to try and keep my average within an ADR. So if you scale into your positions, let's say, for example, you went short here. If you scale into your positions roughly an ADR apart, something like that, get in there, and then roughly another ADR apart, yeah, somewhere around there, your average will be there. And then when you get into that third, so when you get into number one, it will be there, obviously, that's your entry. When you get into your second position, your average is there. When you get into your third position, your average comes up to your second position, roughly. And it's not going to be exact because you're not necessarily going to get in exactly an ADR. You're going to get in when the next reversal alert is, when the next sign of weakness comes. So you'll be roughly there. By the time you get into your fourth position, if needed, that is when you tend to find that you slip behind. So your average will go to roughly there, and you'll see that an ADR is a little bit further away. So you start on your fourth position to start slipping behind a little bit, behind ADR. Yeah. But if you can keep it within an ADR, so your break-even line should always aim to be within the ADR area somewhere, because what happens is you get this, like exactly what we've had today. You will suddenly get a profit take move, and typically a profit take move will be somewhere between 1 to 1.5 ADR, and that's when you get out your position. So all you're doing is you're waiting, you're scaling in and waiting for the profit take. As long as you keep the profit take within an ADR, 9 times out of 10 you'll hit it. And it's, you know, it's obviously that's your break even, and that allows you to scale out of 1 or 2 positions if you want, close that one, leave that one running maybe, or wait for it to come down into profit. Does that make sense? Is that what you meant? Line in range of ADR or fib levels. Yeah, so your break-even line is there to show you where you need to get to escape your position with no profit and no loss. Yeah, it's just showing you what your average is. If you fall behind ADR, then yeah, stick a fib on and say, right, I need to keep within at least 38 to 50% retracement, ideally. But most of the time you will be within that anyway, because your average, if you scaled into this long here, and let's say you got into like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 positions, your average is going to be in the middle of all of them, which is always going to be roughly 50% retracement on the move. So if you're scaling into any move equally, your average will always be in the middle of the move. The middle of the move is always going to be a 50% ADR, a 50% retracement. And this is if you're getting in on a big move, yeah? I mean, 9 times out of 10, you're getting into 3 positions and you're out. So it only really becomes relevant in a squeeze. Or if you decide to get in manually, which is why I built the EA, because I was finding myself I was getting into positions too quick. So I built the EA to say, right, I'm going to let this thing get me in, and I'm going to get it to measure my entries so I don't get tempted to get in too quick. So if you get in too fast and then it moves away from you, that's when you get stuck. Which is why you need to scale into your positions at least half an ADR to an ADR apart. Yeah. The market will typically move 3 ADR at any point before it gets totally exhausted and has to do a profit take. Because if it moves 3 ADR in one direction without a pullback, everybody that has pressed the buy button there is sitting there going, oh, at some point this thing's got to come down and I want to be out. And as soon as they see the first sign of sellers, they all go, yep, now, and it goes, boom. And that's why we see climbing up the stairs and falling down the elevator shaft all the time. It's crowd mentality. Yeah. So as long as you're keeping your average within that crowd mentality, you're always going to be able to get out easy. And that's what the EA does. So, what about pound CAD? We're running behind. New York's opening in 3 minutes. I haven't even launched Ninja Trader yet. Hang on. Let me launch that. Pound CAD. Yep, pound CAD's not quite extended on the 4 hour. Hourly, you got an alert on that. Just about. Very exhausted. even getting even more exhausted. This is just about to hit ADR as well. Pound is a long, technically. So yeah, I'm kind of long bias on the pound. This looks like CAD movement to me because all these CADs seem to be moving, don't they? Yeah, it looks like we've got a bit of a weak CAD. We've got a really weak US. It's actually, it's all a bit much of a muchness, isn't it? Fairly strong pound at the moment by the looks of things as well. That's helping. Fairly weak CAD and a fairly strong pound. So yeah, very nicely extended. Just come out of an accumulation long. We're just taking out these highs. So you've got a load of liquidity up here. Yeah. Everybody that saw that massive wick and entered a short position, yeah, their stop is there. Everybody that saw them come up and do a tweezer top and then pull back and went, oh, M, jumped in short there. They're all gone. We're extended. So pull back, but it's a long bias. So you'll counter trend, pull back. So don't get greedy. Yeah, look for that sort of level. Yeah, this is what this support rectangle is really helpful for, yeah? If you get a big, strong push in one direction, that will tend to act as support because that will usually be at the breakout level. And that's why that works as support. A lot of people use that as support. That's why I call it a support rectangle. But it's not really support. It's telling you when there's a reversal, obviously. So. I've been in trades where the second and third position after being in profit briefly continue to move against me. Yeah, I mean, you will. And this is where it comes down to you trading. You are the trader. So if you have 3 positions and it comes down like this is a perfect example. If you had a target on here, down here, maybe let's say, for example, that was half an ADR, which was your target, and the EA got you down to there and it didn't quite get it. Your decision is, do I leave it or do I take it or do I close that, bank money and let this one run? Or the other option you've got is you can close that, close 50% of that, yeah, which will then bring your average up to about there, and leave those 2 running. And then obviously when it pushes up, you get in again. But this time you've only got 50% of the position on there, so your average is higher, which would have given you an out there. So then you could have closed that one off, closed that one off, so that's now the 25% position, yeah, and leave that one as it is, and then push up, get in again, wait for the short, close that one completely, and then decide what you want to do with that. I'd probably close the lot because I've banked once, twice, 3 times. Let's get out, done, profit. But this is where what I say, there is no hard or fast rules. As a trader, this is your job, your decision making process is, in that situation, what shall I do? And the decision is going to be made by how much profit you've made this week, this day, this month, this year, how aggressive you are on the position, whether you've done an aggressive drawdown control, how much you've banked. I mean, there's so many variables, but at the end of the day, the strategy is simple. It pushes up and it pulls back. When it pulls back, you've got a decision to make. The EA can do a certain amount of that decision making for you, but you still have to be involved. So it's not cut and dry, is it? Nothing in trading is cut and dry. Market's open. Been open for a minute. Haven't traded this morning. Let me get rid of some of these lines. Let's drop down to 1 minute and just see if we can get a nice opening range break. I'm trading the S&P again today. I will trade minis today, I think. I'm a bit unprepared today, so I'm going to trade minis. 31. That's the high of the day so far. Oh, sorry, the high of the range so far. We'll have a look at where the indices are and what happened yesterday in a second. Let's just wait for this breakout, this opening range to form. I wondered whether it's better to close it out and wait for the next opportunity, avoiding the additional drawdown, or keep it open and take the drawdown to keep the average up. Yeah, I think I probably just answered that question after seeing what you've typed. Yeah, it's a decision making. It's a difficult one to decide. You know, you've got to kind of make your own sort of mind up on it. But just bear in mind, you know, the Aussie New Zealand is a good example that we looked at this morning. That thing's been grinding like that. Yeah. If I'd have closed every time we pushed up, got in again, closed again, 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 and left all these other positions I had, I've banked 4-5 times on it. So I've put money in the bank. I'm still in drawdown. But if you take a position off and put it in the bank, you're making it green, which is what we want to do. Worst case scenario, if it pushes against you, you put that position back on again. What have you lost? Nothing. What have you gained? Profit. And whether you decide to do anything with these or not is up to you. If you're in 3 positions and this is your 4th, you might think, oh, fine, I'll leave them. If you're in 10 positions and this is your 11th, you're probably going to do something about it. But if you're in 10 positions, there's a problem. Yeah, it's decision-making process. It's there's no rule, one rule fits all, unfortunately. Where are we? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is the final candle on the 5-minute. I haven't got no idea what I'm doing today. I haven't planned yet. What did we have yesterday? We had an up day. Yeah, so that 3-bar reversal didn't play out yesterday. So I'd be inclined to short today. Andy, Diamond, if you look at the original position, because the pair is overextended, I would wait for the rubber band to snap back. Yeah, exactly. You don't know when it's going to happen. You just need to be in it when it does. Yeah. If you get into something, it's this whole way that I trade, the position trading technique, is so different, and it's so difficult to get your head around. You know, and what Andy's just said about the elastic band, the longer that is stretched, i.e. the more extended you are without any move, the faster and the quicker that move is going to be. So when it starts, the temptation is always to take a profit and panic. You're going, it's like a weight lifted off, isn't it? You see this thing come down 1.5 ADR and you're like, oh, I've got to take it off, just in case it pushes back against me. But if you look back in time, most of the time it will do that. Because it's gone so far in one direction, it has to go the other way. And this is where chart time comes in. You know, just seeing it happen over and over again, and seeing it happen to you over and over again is, you know, and put the EA in the strategy tester and watch it. Watch the EA trade in the strategy tester. That gives you so much confidence. And see what happens when it gets out the trade. See how much money it leaves on the table. That really does give you confidence as well. This is a bit of a slow open. We've got 26,000. Wow. There's an indecision candle if ever I saw one. I'm going to try a short. Bit of a risky one. I've just got a feeling today this is the pullback. And I just got a feeling. I got a feeling that's what's going to happen. Market looks a little bit spooked on the Dow. But but quite possibly going to get one of those whipsory days. Let's see. But I banked, ended up banking 1250-ish yesterday. I think my balance is at 1270, basically. Sorry, 151,270, not 1270. But because I've spent quite a lot of commission, basically. So over trading a little bit costs you a lot of money in futures. If you overtrade, you can end up banking $500 in a day, and $350 of that is commission. So trying to trade a bit slower. Selling one more. Trevor, since adopting basket trading, the hardest part has been closing losing trades during drawdown control. Yeah, that is the hardest bit. You got to do it. You just got to do it. Do you know how hard it was for me this morning on that EA to bank $1,100 and then to close out a $600 loss? But the way I look at it is I just banked $600. Yeah, I didn't close out a loss. I closed out a profit, and I will put that position back on again if I need to. You've just got to do it. And like I say in the bootcamp, if the easiest way to do it is, if you're in drawdown, every time you close a profit, close 50% of a loss. Yeah, so if you bank $100 profit on one trade, close $50 off of another one. That way you'll get used to doing it. You'll bank less money, but you'll also go into less drawdown, which makes your life more comfortable. This doesn't look like it's going my way. Glad I'm trading micros today. Selling one more. Just playing double top. Potentially to see if we're going to double top that. It's a nice support. No, we didn't. Just getting ready to get out. Closing 1, 2, 3 and flat. That was a bit quick. Right. In mean reversion, big squeezes can combine pullback strategy as well to bank profit on the trend whenever possible. Yeah, you can do. So I'm just going to let this candle close. Yeah, I mean, if you are in a squeeze, you can obviously play the trend. The thing is, if you've got a mean reversion big squeeze and you're trying to get in shorts, and you're entering short as the market is moving up, which is what you need to do. You need to be selling as price is moving higher. You could, every time you get a pullback, take a long. But what's going to happen when you do that, which is basically hedging, is the moment you pull the trigger on the long, it'll do that. So you'll get out of these positions. Thank you very much. And now you'll be in drawdown on a long. But the problem is the long position you took will probably not be extended on the RSI. So I'm just going to get short again. There's a little bit of a whipsaw going on at the moment. Yeah, so I mean, you can run the trend pullback strategy, but you just get yourself into a mess. I've tried to hedge in the past, and I've run hedges in the past, and I just end up getting in an utter mess. So I stopped hedging. Yeah, and as Trevor's just said, big squeezes don't happen often. Which is why I say get into two pairs, in the same currency. If you follow that rule, you will never get squeezed so hard that it hurts so badly. That Aussie New Zealand I've been in since December. It's not hurting. It's sitting there in drawdown. It's not painful. It's not nice, but it's not painful because I've got 34% banked. So 6% of drawdown is like nothing, is it? The times when they hurt, the squeezes, is when you start position trading and the first trade you take squeezes you. That's when it gets bad, and I can totally understand why people get hacked off with it when the first trade you take goes wrong. It's like taking a 50% risk trade on your first hit of the buy or the sell button when you're new at trading. Yeah, it's going to not give you a particularly pleasant experience, is it? But this is why we trade small. So we just got a quick pop out the lows there. I'm just going to try one more on a wick test here. So if we can pull back up into there, I'll just add a third position. We haven't really popped out this low yet. There we have. Now we have. Found a load of buyers down there by the looks of things, but I'm just trying to figure out where we're going today. Oh, we're still here. So this is where we were yesterday. Remember, we were trying to get down 4,400 yesterday. Same plan as yesterday, basically. Looking for a 4,400. That's where we got stuck, wasn't it? So I'm looking today for that play to 44.10 and 4,400 level. Why do I sell one more in the face of support? Depends how you look at it. Yes, it could be support, but it could also be a pop, a breakout. So as you saw that pop there that we got, I'm selling into my bias. My bias is short. If my bias is wrong, I'll get out. But if my bias is right and it pops, I won't get a chance to get in again, because if this pops down to here like this and does that now, I can't add down there because it's just too far. It'll bring my average up to here, which is not what I want. I need to wait for a pullback and then get in. So I'd rather have two positions short in line with my bias than have to wait for a pullback to get in. And if I'm wrong, obviously I can just escape these positions. It's not an issue. I mean, my theory with everything is do the opposite to what everyone else is doing. Everybody says you should never sell into support, which is fine. But then 95% of people lose money because they don't sell into support. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but I would never, if I'm looking for a bounce trade, I would never sell into support, but I don't think that's support. I think support today is 4,400. This level here. The support at the moment for me actually is 44.22 is the next support, which is there. But it's mainly the pop. I'm looking for the pop. But it's no different to any other trade, yeah? It's either going to work or it's not. If it doesn't work, I get out. If it does work, I'm in 25 points short with two contracts instead of one. I'm not going to get that limit. And again, limit order up there. If we can get a little pullback into that, I'll stick a third on if we don't get down there in time. But that is a perfect add point, obviously, because now we've broken support, we expect that to turn into resistance. So that's where you should be adding, obviously. But the main reason I add to my positions is when my position's going to profit. So if a position goes into profit, I want to add to it to make more profit because it's working. This trade is working at the minute. Until it proves otherwise, this is looking like it's potentially going to be a successful trade. But you don't know. You have to play it by ear, don't you? With basket, never use a stop loss. No chance to get hit. Every day is green. But with aggressive drawdown entry, stop loss mostly gets hit. Always. So annoying. Yeah. That's what aggressive drawdown control is, though. It's designed to get you out of a problem. You only use aggressive drawdown control. I'm using aggressive drawdown control for the first time on that Aussie New Zealand position in 6 weeks, 8 weeks. So yeah, I mean that, and I got stopped out on it this morning, didn't I? The Aussie New Zealand one yesterday, but the second one worked and the third one worked. So, but the idea behind aggressive drawdown control is you action it when you are at such a limit and such an extreme. If you've scaled into this like this, yeah, and it's still going up, the chances, the odds of the pullback are so much higher. And yes, you might get it wrong 2 or 3 times, but when you get it right, you can undo the entire move in one position. And it's worth taking 2 or 3 hits to do that. 44.22 has just been tested. S&P is coming down fairly nicely. That's got strong support at 381.50. Dow, we're approaching 461. It's potential support, which is that candle before the propulsion move. Still decent volumes coming in. We've got increasing volume coming in, which is very good to see. So not only are we getting good selling, we're getting good selling on volume as well. Looks bearish. US dollars had 10 minutes straight up. Still not coming down. I'm not. Really think that level should go, but it obviously doesn't agree with me at the moment. So I want to see a pop through this 44.22 level. There we go. Didn't quite get that pop, did we? S&P is coming down nicely. Not quite sure what I've got drawn on there. What the hell is that? I don't know what that was. Okay, 15 points away from 4,400. Sorry, 44.10 is first level. That's what we want to be watching. It's running into potential area of support on Dow. We've tapped straight into that level, haven't we? Just going to take... not sure about that hammer. Getting ready to take one off down here, just in case, because we're running into support on the S&P. We're running into support on the Dow. Just taking one off. Just in case. Go for the 4400 with both contracts. It's going down nicely and hard. Dow is just testing that wick basically. So this is a wick test on the Dow. So this was the final accumulation before the propulsion moved to the upside. So if we are going to find buyers, this is where they're going to start to step in and try and push price back. But S&P is struggling at that support 380. 80s and 20s are magic numbers. When they get broken though, tends to be the end. Lee sounds like a Chinese name. Is it? Or just curious? No. That's my first name, not my surname. Lee is a Chinese name. But it tends to be a surname, Lee. Like Jet Li. Ang Li. Jet Li. Lee's a surname, typically. In the UK, it's a forename. Okay, just closing these out with a view to jump back in. Just want to get something in the bank, basically. S&P found support at the 380. Dow's doing all right. But I'm not too keen on the S&P price action at that level. It's very, very, very good support resistance point. So just to be safe, if I just don't want to undo it the whole lot and lose it, I might as well just stick it in the bank. I can always add it back on a pullback. When you close a position, it closes the order that you put them. Yeah. So I got some support coming in down here. So just going into a zigzag accumulation, lots of wicks to the downside. So we're starting a pullback, first pullback. I'm going to scoot out to the 5-minute chart. Let's see where we are. So that was a 5-minute opening range break that I played there. We've had 10 minutes solid downside. So we're due some kind of profit take. As I just took profit, people will start to take profit here. So we get a bit of a pullback. We're coming off of this 44.10 level, which is support. Yeah, so that's that support there. So next stop down is 4,400, assuming that we don't break back above 44.22-ish. So see what happens here, but looking for a pullback basically up into here somewhere, and then look potentially for shorts again. Ooh, hang on. So what is that level? What's that one there, is it? Yeah, 44.22 is central resistance that we broke, and then obviously that level there is our next resistance. So looking basically for either that or that to get into shorts. If we get a pullback, I mean, we may not get a pullback. We might just go straight down to 4,400, in which case I left some on the table, but so a 9-point move to the downside if we break that low. I'm just going to let this 5-minute candle play out. Toying with the idea of just sticking 2 contracts short on the break of this wick. But I want to see this 5-minute candle close first. I want to see it close bullish. So if we could get a bullish close on this candle, that could well be the pullback. That could be all that we get. It may not get up to these levels. If so, I'll put a break entry there, which we didn't get. So it's possibly just going to go straight down. But we are showing signs of support on the S&P. On the NASDAQ rather, sorry. Got my charts run the wrong way today. Should we wait Euro New Zealand to hit ADR and take an entry on M5? We've just broken that low. I don't want to short it. If you short it now, you're chasing. Basically, should have left the position on, but I'm a bit jittery on these opens at the moment, considering the amount of accumulation and chop we've had at the open recently. The last sort of couple of weeks, we've had loads of accumulation. That's the first proper opening range break we've had for a while. So I'd rather wait for a pullback on that. We'll see where we go. Euro New Zealand. Pound CAD has just done that liquidity run. Close bearish on the hour. We were looking at that one, weren't we? That was why we were looking at the pound CAD. Was that an hourly? We didn't look at the. We didn't get round to the hourlies, did we? Did we even do the hourlies today? I can't remember. Euro New Zealand. Yeah, Euro New Zealand. Let's have a look at that one. That's massively extended on the hourly. Yeah. So, yeah, reversal alert. If you're playing hourly, you're looking for an alert on 5-minute. Looks like you've just had one. Yeah, just had an alert on 5-minute. So, yeah, long. Now. You got these wicks. It's really nice and orderly on the way down. Yeah, there's no gaps, no propulsion gaps on the way down. We've been wiki all the way. Yeah, so it's very, very nice and evenly and nicely traded. So what these wicks are, these propulsion moves basically are big propulsion candles, lots and lots of buyers and sellers coming in. No opportunity for any of these sellers to take a profit. When you get lots of wicks where you don't get any propulsion moves at all, it's even trading. So the algorithms basically are trading down, up, down, up, down, up, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, making profit all the way down. So there's no gaps or voids to go back to. So yeah. So head for there, or potentially back to there, really is all I would look for on that. %50 retracement. Somewhere up there. Osini Moruf, you didn't. I didn't what? Sorry, I don't know. There's a trouble with streaming. You answer people's questions who are commenting on things you've said, and it's gone. I've moved on. What didn't I do? Enter that trade. Is that what you're saying? I didn't enter that trade. No, I'm not trading at the moment. I never long the euro, personally, because the euro is on its backside. It's not a trade I like. But it will probably work out. Highly likely it will work out. But with what's going on in Russia at the minute, I'm not really interested in trading Forex and entering into positions. You could do that with a stop. Yeah, I mean, you could trade that with a stop. 30 pip stop. Got potential 55, 75 pip reward. So yeah, really nice risk reward trade. 2 to 1, 3 to 1. But not for me. I don't like long in the euro. I'm concentrating more on the futures and indices scalping while we've got all this problem with Russia. As I say, I've got the EAs turned off at the minute for position trading. We just tested this propulsion gap. We've got some rejection coming in. So this is an accumulation going on. We may well not get a pullback. We might just get a drop on this. So, looking at pound CAD on the hourly. Yeah, that's coming. So this pound CAD, this was the 4-hour liquidity run. Yeah, so you got multiple levels that have just been run at the same time here. Yeah, so anybody long term, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks ago. Yeah, anybody that entered short in the last 6 weeks and hasn't exited their positions yet, if they're using a stop, their liquidity was there. Everybody that saw this as a double top bounce, got in short here, their liquidity is there. That whole lot has just been taken by the bankers and they're running for the hills as fast as they can. So 4 hour, if you want to get in this, you could literally get in now. Bearish engulfing, wait for this candle to close or just jump in. Stop above the high. Be prepared for a stop, hunt and drop. If you use a stop, be prepared to be hunted. And then look for a bounce back at the 24, because obviously pound CAD is a long, so this is a counter trend short. M15 entry. Just about to get a reversal out on M15. M5 you just had one. Right, I'm going to start building a position short. Didn't do the hourly extensions. No, I didn't think we did. we spent a lot of time on 4 hours and stuff, didn't we? So yeah, hourly extensions. Euro New Zealand is nice. There's a really nice hammer and wicks going in on this at the moment, but obviously it's going bearish again. So that's really nicely extended. But like I say, it's just can't long the euro. It's like shorting the S&P just against every grain of my body to actually press the button to go long on Euro New Zealand, and the same on the S&P. It's just very difficult for me to short the S&P, but it's doing all right. It's holding up down there. So Euro New Zealand long, Euro pound long. You've missed that one, unfortunately. You just had the reverse alert on that, so you're in 7 pips on it at the minute. Euro odd, big old reverse alert on that one. Again, you just got into it, but these are all counter trend euro. Pound CAD, that one's just alerted. Difficult entry, pound CAD, long way away. Just got extended again. At the moment, really, that's where I'd be looking. Possibly there. If we've just got a 68, these are risky at the moment, so be a bit careful. On which video did you explain in detail the drawdown control, especially the aggressive one? That is in video 4, I think. Oh, go away, Greg. Greg Secker. God, the amount of adverts I see of that guy, I'm fed up looking at his face. Nothing against him, but day 4. Yeah, so day 4 on the position trading bootcamp. So just watching this. Is drawdown control, currency exposure and risk. I think that's the day I cover it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Oh look, someone's done a nice, I like it when people do this for me. Big squeeze, what now? There you go. Drawdown control example at 158. Step by step controlling drawdown. Partial closes, 3 ways to take a loss. Aggressive drawdown control is at 205. Yeah, that's video 4 of the bootcamp. If you want to get the bootcamp, it is there. Position trading bootcamp. Nearly got into a position there. It's just out of interest. There's only 20 odd people in it, but has anybody done Greg Secker's course? If you've been watching any videos on YouTube to do with trading, you will know who Greg Secker is. You cannot miss him. He literally must spend £2.5 billion a day on YouTube marketing. But I'm just curious as to anybody's done his course, because all I see is cars, jets, boats, expensive holidays, you know, all the stuff that everybody lies to you about that you can do in 5 weeks in trading and become a millionaire. That's all I ever see. I'm just curious as to if anybody's actually done his course, which I'm sure costs many, many, many thousands of pounds, as to whether it's any good or not. But yeah, let me know. I have no opinion either way. I have no idea. But it's just literally every time I launch a video on YouTube at the moment, I get nothing but Greg Secker stuck in my face. But anyway, so we're pulling back quite nicely. I'm going with a limit up there as well. Not that limit. So I'm looking for basically us to test this wick. Which we'll get in a short. Potentially then, if that doesn't hold, that will be my next entry there. If that doesn't hold, potentially another entry there. So I'm going to scale into a short. I'm quite comfortable scaling into a short with today's price action, if I need to, and if we don't just get taken straight in with this one as we break these lows. And then I'll scale in again down there on the pop down the bottom. No, want to stay focused on what I'm currently doing. Yeah. I'm not promoting anybody's services. Obviously, I don't promote people's services. Yeah. These never heard of him. What does he do? Wow, you've never seen a Greg Secker advert. I don't really want to push him, to be honest, because I really don't. I don't think it's a con, but I do think he's selling the dream. And I don't agree with selling the dream. I don't agree with anybody that shows a video of themselves with a massive multi-room mansion, boats, girls, expensive holidays, jets. If there's a trader selling you that, yeah, it's just not right. I'm sure there are traders out there that do that, but I'd question as to how that money was made rather than successfully trading. Just my opinion. That's not on Greg Secker or anybody. That is just my opinion on people that market trading courses selling the dream. And that might well work, but I just haven't managed to make the dream in 13 years. I'm doing well. I'm making very, very good money trading. But I haven't got a Lambo. I haven't got a jet. And I haven't got a mansion. Maybe I'm just not good enough. Which is quite possible, obviously, as well. You're going to run off without my limit order, aren't you? So this is an inside bar, basically. We were talking about two inside bars. Actually, we weren't. That video I made for an hour and a half today that I put in the Telegram group, I keep thinking I've been talking to you about it, but I wasn't doing it live. So in the Telegram video that I did about the new indicator, the new EA, this is an inside bar. And I go through what is the 2 inside bar setup. At the moment, this is a 5 inside bar setup. So until we break out of this control candle, we are in accumulation and range. So the break of this candle will probably be the next break of direction. I'm backing down, but oh Lord, I can't get rid of those Greg Secker adverts. Annoying. See, I'm not the only one. Google him if you want to. It's a company called Learn to Trade. Lots of fancy marketing. Lots of fancy marketing. No P&Ls ever. But I'm not saying it's wrong not to show you P&L, but if you're going to talk the talk, you need to show you're doing it. YouTube displays ads depending on what you're watching on YouTube. This is why. So basically I watch a lot of trading videos, and I'm obviously watching my own videos, and I'm in my live room all the time. So YouTube knows I'm into trading, obviously. That's why I get trading videos pumped in my face constantly, which is not bad actually, because I get to see lots of new stuff coming out, and I get to see what all the other scammers out there that are trying to flog you this, that, and the other are doing. It's full of, do you know what? This industry is full of 90%. 90% of what you see is just utter rubbish. It really is. There's a few good things out there, but I'm only saying that because I've tried it all. I've bought it all. I'm one of the mugs. I bought them all. no idea what I've spent on education and indicators and courses and that. If I ran a spreadsheet, I'd probably scare myself to death and never trade again. On the other hand, I see him at least 5 times a day. Yeah. If you don't know who Greg Secker is, you haven't been watching enough trading videos on YouTube. Basically, you need to go and watch some more. Watch my Boocamp. Watch all 5 days of my Boocamp. That's about 6 hours of free education. It'll pop up. It'll be there. What do you say about using this strategy for prop trading? Do you think the drawdown versus percent gain will fit with the rules? So position trading, no. You'll find it very hard to pass a prop firm challenge with position trading strategies, because you will always be tied into a 5% drawdown, possibly a 10% drawdown, and I'm going short to a little bit early, but we are looking bearish at the moment. We've only got 2 minutes left on this candle. I know I say I should get in when candle closes, but this is looking bearish, and we're coming out of this. This is the first proper sell pop we had, and this is basically sellers stepping in and adding to their positions. So where I took that short, if I was still in that short, this is where I would add. And I am adding, obviously. So this is sellers adding to their existing shorts, pushing it down to 4,200. 4,400. Yeah, it's very difficult. I will have months where I won't go over 3% or 4% or 5% drawdown. Then I will have a month where I'll hit 15% drawdown. And this is the problem with prop firms. And the vast majority of prop firms, even when you pass, you will then have an issue with that 5% drawdown. So if you can stay within that 5% drawdown for 2 to 3 weeks and pass a challenge, you'll find it very hard for the next 2 months not to hit 5% drawdown. The best traders in the world will hit 5% drawdown. I do regularly. I bank loads of money, but I use drawdown. Drawdown is there. Your account, my 150k account that I'm trading here now, this 150k is here to be drawn down into. That's what it's for. It's my business balance that I use to make money. If I can't use my drawdown, I can't trade. Yeah, it's important, and the prop firms know this. 4 short, by the way. I'm just keeping an eye on this. I need to concentrate. So yeah, I mean, this is the problem. You will find that you will get an account fairly easily with a prop firm, but keeping it is another matter. And then they make their money at the fees. But it's the only way to get hold of decent capital. And this is why I like futures prop trading rather than CFD and Forex prop trading firms. Because these guys that I'm with Apex. I've got a funded account with Apex, and this is with Elite Trader Fund. Elite Trader Funding. Sorry, is because my when I get funded, my trailing drawdown stops at my starting balance. So I've got a 150k account. Yeah, when I get to 150k or above 150k, my trailing drawdown doesn't go above 150k. So if I get up to 190k, I have now got $40,000 of drawdown available to me. With someone like Top Step, a CFD or a Forex prop firm, your trailing drawdown will follow your profit. So what will happen is you'll make lovely money, and then you'll have a really bad week and you're going to 5.5k of drawdown. Your account is blown. Forget what you've made. They will shut your account and say, sorry, back to square one. Give us another $350 or whatever the reset. No, actually, it's a reset back to step one. So it's $350 or whatever it costs. Yeah. That's the advantage of futures. Futures, they give you way more room when you are profitable. When you've built that balance, you've got it all to use as drawdown. So I can then start upping my contracts. I'm using 1 or 2 micros at the moment to build this account. When I've built this account, I will start going up onto normal contract sizing full-size contracts trading the same way, except now I've got $40,000 worth of, or 20,000 or 10, whatever. Drawdown is irrelevant once you get a funded account in futures. As long as you're not stupid and you don't blow it in the first few weeks, which again, you've got to be able to do. You've got to be consistent. Just running into a bit of support here. Got potentially a lot of buyers here. Obviously, this accumulation push. Anybody that is long-term futures on this is sitting here probably entering longs, which is why we're struggling to get through this area. Most futures traders are intraday and not long-term. Obviously the COT report, what you see on my website, this is open interest futures contracts. So this here is the open interest on the futures market. So these are the people that are holding longs. It costs a lot of money to hold overnight in futures. I need an FAQ. Yeah, I do need an FAQ. I need an FAQ for lots of things. I don't mind explaining things over and over again. It's good for my mental health to keep saying the same thing over and again because it just reconvinces me I'm right in what I say. So if I get asked the same question 10 times by different people, I don't mind. It's when one person asks me the same question 10 times, that's what annoys me. And I get that in the Telegram group all the time. I've got a question. It's answered in this video. Answer the question again. Have you watched the video? No. Okay, I'm going to send you one more time to that video. If you come back and ask the question again and you haven't watched the video again, you're booted. Not interested. Help yourself. If you can't help yourself, don't expect everybody else to help you. I'm not a spoon feeder, as you know. I'm not one of these people that spoon feeds everything I know. You go and find it out yourself. Chart time, very, very important. Not liking this price action. Where are we? 44.04. It seems to be it's very difficult to get down to 4,400. I was expecting this to be a lot quicker than this. I'm just going to close this out for a minute. I've got 6 contracts long. I just don't like it's probably going to dump now, but I don't, I'd rather bank it. It's just, it's stuttering. There's a lot of absorption going on. Yeah, we popped it probably now, but there was a lot of absorption going on there. There's a hell of a lot of buyers stepping in. We weren't able to crack it. Now we've cracked it. It's typical, isn't it? Never mind. What if you want to exit specific positions, not necessarily in the order you put them in? You can't, Bruno. Futures doesn't work that way. You're buying and selling contracts in the exchange. You average in. I think there is a way. I don't know. That's just how futures works. You add to your positions and you average into your positions. Shouldn't have got out of that one. Never mind. I'm really jittery still trying to short the S&P. Still feels alien to me taking shorts on this thing. We've got some decent volume still on the Nasdaq as well. So there's a lot of contracts being traded today, which is good. The other reason I'm very jittery is that any second now there could be a news announcement, and I do not want to be 6 contracts short on something that's going to fly through the roof because Russia's just chucked a bomb into the Ukraine or something. So I'm just being a bit cautious today, and I don't like all this absorption we got going on down here. It's very hard work for the sellers to get through at the moment. Dow's pushing down nice. The US dollar's pushing up well at the moment. But again, we're not gone anywhere yet. We've literally just done a liquidity run of those lows. The other reason I'm a little bit dubious of shorting the indices today is because I'm expecting the US dollar to come down and do this liquidity run. When the US dollar drops, you tend to see the indices rise, and when the indices are rising, you tend to see the US dollar drop. Obviously, when it's the opposite way around, basically. When we get a move on the US dollar, you'll tend to get the opposite happen on indices. I'm expecting them to come and take this liquidity, which would indicate that we'll get a pop on the indices. So can you explain what exactly is futures? No. It's too complicated. Google. Investopedia. Futures are derivative financial contracts that obligate the parties to transact an asset at a predetermined future date. So basically, futures contracts have a expiry, which is usually 3 months for most contracts. So you're buying at a price, and it's complicated. So go and read up about it on there. Futures contracts are used a lot by hedge funds to hedge Forex transactions a lot of the time. So you'll find that especially indices futures tend to have a very strong trend bias, which you can see. Yeah. They're engineered to go up. Futures contracts for oil, corn, and other commodities are also used as hedges. So, for example, if I am one of the largest corn producers in the US, my income will be directly affected by things like the weather, markets as to how much bread people can purchase, how much money people have, interest rates, all that sort of stuff. And it will be affected by natural disasters. It will be affected by plagues of creatures. So I will say that I am expected this year to make 24 million out of my corn yield. They will hedge a futures contract saying that I expect X to be there and Y to be there by a certain date, and they will tend to hedge it against their yield. So what means is if they don't hit their yield target, they will have a hedge on in the opposite direction to make money either way. The futures market is also used. It's quite complicated why futures is used, but it probably is explained on there. You'll also find that futures hedging is done by manufacturing transactions. So if I'm a manufacturer in Japan, manufacturing millions and millions of pounds worth of electronics goods to ship over to the US, by the time I get paid after buying the raw materials to actually delivering the completed project to its destination, the yen will have changed financially. The money on the yen will have changed. So you can trade the futures contract for the yen. I don't know which one that is, but 6B is the pound futures, 6E is the euro futures, etc., etc. So what you can do is you can buy the yen futures now at a price, and regardless of whether the yen goes up or down, you can hedge your money in one direction, assuming that by the time you deliver your goods, the cost of your goods or the price of your goods that you sell it for will go down. It's massively complicated. But at the end of the day, if you're looking to trade futures in a prop firm, you don't need to know any of that. It goes up and down the same as everything else. There's the short answer. I should have said that first, shouldn't I? Trying to go into it. But Google it. It's people think futures is massively complicated. It's not. The difference between futures is you are forced to, each of these has a price attached to it. Yeah. So when I press the button on this, I go up or down by X amount of money every time it puts a tick in. That's the difference. Is you can't choose your minimum contract size like you can in CFDs and in Forex. But I would do your research. I'm glad I got out of that. It's not really looking very healthy at the minute. I would have managed to make we're getting close to the 4,400 level, which is kind of where a lot of people will be buying it up down here, looking for a bounce. Highly grateful for a scalper video. We'll watch after the live stream. When will be the right time to public? I don't know, Rahat. So that video that I put out in the Telegram group, there is that one. It's an hour and a half long. Wasn't meant to be an hour and a half long. But that basically, I'm just looking for feedback on it, really. I go through all of the settings in it. So I'm just looking really for feedback as to if you think it's fine as it is, or the stuff that you think should be in it, shouldn't be in it, stuff that's useful, useless, etc., etc. But I've got some fine-tuning to do on it at the minute. But it works fine. Yeah, so it's... what the hell's that? I say it works fine. That's broken. Yeah, so there are bugs in it. I've got to forward test it properly. So, but look at that for signals. Look, strong close candle, scalp. Strong close candle, scalp. Strong close candle, scalp. Strong close candle, scalp. That's what? 4 winning trades on the trot there. But yeah, so just literally, it's basically the interface that I have here, yeah, but way more complex. Well, not more complex, more feature rich than this. This is what you need when you're trading anything, really. You need to be able to get in and out of the market. You need to be able to close your positions. You need to be able to adjust stuff, and it just doesn't happen in MT4. So that's why I built this. Yeah, if I want to modify my stop loss now because I fancy making it lower, I can do. If I want to TP's too close or whatever, I can just change it all. Yeah, modify my stop, my TP. Yeah, do whatever I want. Stick a buy stop above that last candle because I think it's probably going to pop. I can change that so it puts the stop wherever I want it to be. Does everything. But this is what I've covered in the video. So it does all of that stuff. I'll leave that on. Might actually get a pop out of this. It's not quite a bullish engulfing. And we know it's not a bullish engulfing because it would have gone and drawn a little arrow and put BE there if it was a bullish engulfing. And it didn't because it's not. Andy, just going off on a tangent, I watched Inside Job on Netflix last night. It's about the financial crisis of 2008. Very good documentary, narrated by Matt Damon. I think I've seen that. I'll have a look at that one, Inside Job. I think I've seen that. Yeah, there's loads of good stuff. Obviously Wolf of Wall Street. Everybody's got to watch The Wolf of Wall Street at least once in their life. If you're into trading, you haven't watched The Wolf of Wall Street. Why? Also, you need to go and watch Billions on Showtime. Awesome. If you want to know what goes on in a hedge fund, I know a guy that works in a hedge fund and he says that's actually quite true. Quite true to life. Brilliant, Billions. I love it. Bobby Axelrod. Can't go wrong. Bit of Bobby. Just going to close that out. Don't like the look at that. And close that pending. Okay, so it's brilliant. God, how can you scalp without it? We seem to have gone in a bit of a go slow here at the moment. I'm not quite sure where we're looking to go from here. The market seems to have gone into a very, very, very slow accumulation down the bottom. We haven't quite got down to that 44 yet. We've got some buyers stepping in at the moment, so probably going to get a pullback. Anyone can suggest a good movie about Forex other than The Wolf of Wall Street? Yeah. The Big Short. That's really good. The Big Short. That is also about... that's the financial crash in 2006, 2007. The Big Short. That's really good. It's got Christian Bale, Ryan Gosling, Brad Pitt, Steve Carell, loads of people. That's a really good film. Another good one. That's not about Forex though, it's about stocks. No one's interested in Forex, everyone's interested in the stock market. Boiler Room is good as well, yeah, Luke. Boiler Room's a good film. Not really getting any opportunities to do anything here. We're on a bit of a go slow. We just cracked that bar, so we're on a bit of a pullback here. I don't really want to long it. We have put in okay, it's a 3-bar reversal into a 3-bar reversal. Look, this is a bear market. We are entering a bear market. I'm getting more and more convinced this thing is coming down hard. This low here, I don't think is anywhere near the low of where we're going. I think we're coming sub 4k on the S&P, especially if we have a war. Well, not us, but if we get a war, I think this thing's coming down hard. But hey, on 5 minutes, we don't care which way it goes. I'm watching Forex charts all day long. Last thing I want to do is watch a movie about it. Yeah. The movie's about the risk taking. The Nick Leeson movie's pretty good as well. The guy that brought down Barings Bank. Apparently, he's running a signal service at the moment. Would you buy signals from the man that broke Barings Bank? Don't think so. Just started a new candle and we're going bearish. I'm going to try another 2 short when we break. If we break this low, I think we're probably going to pull back up a little bit first. I can't really pick a spot to pull back to at the moment on this. Probably 44.11. The wick of this bearish engulfing. If we get up to there, there's a possibility we might pull back from there. But we still haven't got the pullback up to these other resistances yet. So there is every chance we'll get a deep pullback and then a deep push. We've put in a very big candle today already on the daily, as you can see. So chances of much further movement down, you're probably not likely to get too much further today. We've kind of done the range already. The Big Short goes hand in hand with Inside Job. Oh yeah, it's about the same thing. Yeah. Nick Leeson was doing mean reversion. Yes, he was. Yeah, who's a mean reversion trader. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with mean reversion, but there is if you don't cut your losses, which he found out. Nick Leeson got in too fast, too hard. That was his problem. His strategy was fine. His entry was too quick. But yeah. But that's the nice thing about trading with other people's money, which is why I like prop firms. With Apex, I could open up my Apex account in a minute, go on to full size ES, and I could literally go 5 contracts, long or short, and hope. And I could easily make 5 or 10k and then go and withdraw that. And I could probably do that 3 or 4 times, take 25k out of them, and then blow the account. But then I'd have to start again. So when you're trading other people's money, there is a sort of gaming element to it, which is not good. But I'm being super cautious. So, I've got a 9k target. I will do it very, very slowly like this. But when the market is slow, that's when you tend to go into full-size contracts, which I did yesterday. I was trading full-size contracts during the London session yesterday. I took 2 good trades and stopped. And if you can stop yourself, that's fine. If you can't stop yourself, that's where it goes wrong. Peter, if only I had my EA. Yeah, basically, he wouldn't have got himself into the trouble he got into if he had the EA. Yeah. If you keep hitting the buy button as it goes down constantly, there's a very high probability. Yeah, if you're hitting this buy button as it goes down here, it's going to do that, and you're going to get out. But if you're hitting the buy button and you're entering that close together, there's a very high probability it's not going to give you a big enough pullback, is it? That's what he did. Just there was no regulation then. This is a bit. I'm going to treat these 2 candles as a kind of inside bar. So I'm just looking for a break below this last down candle here. Assume we're going to get the next leg there. Bootcamp by Hero Lee Samson. Hero? I'm not a hero. Seems to be good and great one so far. Seems to be a long and great one so far. Yeah, it's certainly long. I like to talk in case you didn't notice. Just about to get gathered into 2 shorts. Wow, that one went away quick, didn't it? Closing. Wow, that was a hit. Check the news. Biden expects Russia to invade the Ukraine next several days. Not quite sure. That's just basically a liquidity run. They're scaling in. Short. Looks like there's limit orders basically just got entered in up here. Sellers dumped as soon as we got up here. I'm just going to have one more go short on that. See, now we can do a Leeson. We just basically, if this keeps going up, we just keep scaling in short. Two more short. A bit dangerous, this one. We're potentially putting in a higher low here. We're putting a higher high. So potentially we got a market structure shift to the upside, but I like this wick. Basically, sellers tried to push up, buyers tried to push up, sellers basically stomped on them. A lot of short sellers will put limit orders in the market, and as the buyers buy into those limit orders, obviously the limit orders just execute and dump it straight back down, which just basically shows me that there's not enough buyers to break the limit orders of the sellers. So hence we are pushing back down again. Just shouldn't really have got out of that. I got out of that a little bit quick. Got a bit spooked by that one. Just in case, I just don't want to get caught on a pop. Damage limitation. Thinking about taking the other side of Nick Leeson's signals for those protracted drawdowns. Yeah. I haven't even looked it up. I just heard somebody told me the other day that he was running a signal service, and I haven't looked at it, but I don't even know what sort of signal service he's running, whether he's what he's trading or anything. But yeah, I don't know how good it's going. But any signal service, by the time you get on the signal, it's highly likely that you are getting in just as that person's getting out, if it's a scalping signal service, which Nick Leeson, as far as I know, he's an intraday. He was intraday. I don't know what he does now. As far as I was concerned, I just thought he was doing talks everywhere. He's just one of those talking heads now that runs around and stands behind a desk and tells you how good he is, even though he failed and bankrupted one of the largest organisations in the finance industry. But hey, let's pay you to come and talk about how you screwed it all up. I don't know. Don't see the logic in it myself, but anyway. Diamond, I have done that. Adding shorts while the price is moving along is the worst feeling. Yeah, it's a very hard thing to do, adding shorts when price is going up, but that is how the vast majority. You get what's called a limit market. This is looking a little bit like a limit market at the moment. So when you go into an accumulation, you get a limit market, which means every time there's a push up, the limit orders get triggered, and then every time it pushes down, the limit orders get triggered, which is what causes an accumulation. So when a quant is accumulating positions, it never trades at market. Quants trade with limits. So they trigger limits at the lows and the highs until they've accumulated a position. And that position will always favor a direction, in which case they can dump contracts to move the market, to take the profit, and then pull back. So this is that's what that was. That was a limit market order going in. Lots of them, obviously. Lots of them. But that's basically what that is, and that's a lot of the way the quants work, which is when you see these pops. But at the moment, I'm just so jittery. Any news on Russia, this thing could just go like that. Just, ultra cautious. We're really struggling at 44.02. Another bounce off 44.02. It really, really wants 4,400, but there's a lot of accumulation down here. There's these guys. This is what I said. People start scaling in at 4,400. They're scaling in around 4,400. This is why we're running out of sellers down here, which is a little bit worrying. I kind of want to long it, but it still looks heavy. We've still got market structure. 44. Just getting ready to buy out of two of these if this candle ends up bullish. We've got divergence on the Dow. Just reading up on some of the news about the Ukraine. There's an awful lot of speculation going on at the minute. Awful lot. It just seems to be a lot of posturing, doesn't it? But it's difficult to know whether the US is promoting this or whether it's actually coming from Putin's end or what is going on. So we just made new highs again. This 44.09 and 44.11 levels here kind of, I think, are probably going to be my line in the sand if we break this. But we are just accumulating at the moment. So whether or not we get any more limits coming. Big push down on the US. Still didn't manage to crack that. So we have put in new lows on London. But straight back up again. Still looking for this level. When ADR pushed today. And I think then we'll be away on the US. Broken that 44.11. So just going to scale out too. Looks like it's going to be a down day. Well, break even-ish, really. Yeah, just going to close those out for a minute. Need to check why that is drawn there. Bugs, don't you just love them? We're just getting into an accumulation here, so I'm probably going to leave it there. Giving that all back, that $200, but I can't really see the direction going much further south. Difficult session because we had this big drop. We've had this big drop, obviously, and reversal, and we've put this massive move in already today. So by the time we got to trade the New York session, we'd already had a fairly decent down, and we didn't have much room to the downside. So this area here is obviously where we're meeting all the buyers. So we're just putting a doji in at the moment down here on the hourly. If we get a bullish candle, we're just going to probably go into a rotation today and not get any further movement. Much prefer up days so I can sell short into it basically, but again, we haven't even tested these levels again yet. So it's not fast enough. Can't really trade it. So what I'll probably do this afternoon is keep an eye on this, and maybe if we get back up to these levels, I'll start looking for short opportunities. So from a daily candle perspective, what I'm looking for is for them to trade back up and then come back down again towards the close. So on the 5-minute chart, it would look something along the lines of the reverse of that, basically. So a big push towards the end of the day. So a pullback up to here or here, and then a drop. That's kind of what I'm looking for. So I'm going to look for 43.30 and 44.20 levels and see if we can get pushes back up there for short opportunities. So looking for price action there. But that could take a while. The way this market's moving at the moment, we are very, very slow. But market structure is shifted, potentially. So we might be going up. But I don't really want to long it. I'm not sure this is going to go up much further. But I think I might leave it and then come back to it later on. So let's have a look at where else we are in the market at the minute. US dollar. That candle didn't really close very far at all. So we haven't gone anywhere in New York. Look, awful. Total chop. Quite surprised we got the move in the indices we got. Ethereum and Bitcoin. There's lots of people saying, oh, it's held above 45. Was it Bitcoin held above? 4150, I think it was. Or something. People were saying it was holding above a certain level and everyone was getting excited. Wrong. This is following the indices, as I keep saying now. So whatever you see here, you're going to see on the indices. So this is a lot more bearish. That 3-bar reversal there is a lot more bearish than we've got on the indices at the minute. Yeah. We haven't closed down below there with our 3-bar reversal. Bitcoin has. So still looking shorts on all the cryptos. So be careful if you're holding crypto. US dollar is still wanting to come down, obviously, at the minute. So looking for that level to get hit on the US dollar. So keep an eye on that one this afternoon. If we get down to these lows, so down to here, might as well draw this in, don't I? 95,600 roughly. So if we can get down to 95,600 there, what will happen on the indices is the indices will have risen. And if we take that level out, 100 ADR, we've got the option then to start a nice move with all that liquidity from there, and then obviously the indices will come back down the other way. So I'm kind of looking for that play on the US dollar, which will be the pullback on the indices, and then I'll get ready to short them later on. That's the plan. I will update in Telegram what I'm doing if I do anything. At the moment, it's gonna have to do some movement, isn't it? We're not going anywhere, so it needs to get somewhere. Right, so I'll leave it there. Be aware of news. Obviously, keep your eyes peeled. If you see any massive market movement, you know what it's going to be. It'll be something happening with the Russian incident. We've got retail sales for the pound tomorrow morning early, so be aware of those. We've got Mester speaking later, which probably not going to do a lot. And then tomorrow we've got CAD retail sales as well, but that's really all we've got. Home sales doesn't do anything for the US dollar. So CAD retail sales tomorrow, potentially for those CAD positions if you got into any CAD positions. And retail on the pound tomorrow morning. So keep an eye on all of those with the extensions. Still got those RSI extensions set up, so they're looking good. Few of the hourlies are starting to play out now, obviously pound CAD. Again, these will be affected tomorrow, so you'll have pound and CAD movement tomorrow if you got into that one. So a few setups, but nothing dramatic, is there, at a minute? So keep them peeled. Look out for the alerts, but just be very, very cautious. It's Friday tomorrow. I don't know what the etiquette is on starting a war at the weekend, but if it's going to do it, could happen any day, couldn't it? So just be very, very careful out there, all right? I will be back tomorrow morning at 8:30, same time. We'll do an analysis, see where we are with all the trades, and yeah, we'll have a look at what opportunities we've got ahead of tomorrow. It's Friday tomorrow, and don't really like entering positions at Fridays anyway, most of the time. So again, I'll be looking to scalp. I might try and do some scalping with the EA, with the new EA tomorrow as well. And then we can obviously have a look at it and test it real time and live, because I need to do some proper forward testing on it, and the only way to do that is to stick your cash on the line and press the buttons. So I will be doing that tomorrow, and figuring out why the hell the opening range highs are wrong on New York. Really wrong. Like, there's no reason for that at all, is there? Something's definitely gone wrong there. I'll figure that out. Right, I'll leave it there. Good luck this afternoon. If you're trading more, give us a like on the stream if you like the stream. And Bullard is talking now. He's been hawkish, so he could give the dollar some strength. Hopefully not. I want the dollar to drop first. It is dropping at the moment. So yeah, I want this level taken, this liquidity. I want 100 ADR on the US dollar this afternoon. If we've done that, we've cleared the decks, then we can go. So down there first would be lovely if we can get down there. Then I think we've really got a good chance of getting a really good bull run on the US dollar starting either this afternoon or tomorrow. And obviously that will then dump the indices, which is what I'm waiting for as well. We're just in this horrible slow pullback. S&P's actually got quite a lot further it can pull back, hasn't it? So, yeah, we'll wait and see. Okay, so I'll be back tomorrow morning at 8:30. Anything you need, come in the Telegram group. I will be in there. If you fancy having a look at that video about the new EA for scalping, go and give us some comments on that. Otherwise, tomorrow morning, 8:30. Be aware of the pound news at 7 a.m. tomorrow. All right, have a good afternoon. I will see you then.